What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Happy Halloween, everybody! It's Halloween, and in an attempt to, I wanted to review talk about a horror movie, a Halloween movie. Well, not a Halloween movie, but a horror movie. I was trying to find, scouring all the streaming services to find a horror movie that I felt would properly represent this holiday, the 31st of October, Halloween. And there were a lot of options. I was thinking maybe going old school kind of horror movie. I started probably about 10 different movies and got in and was like, I do not want to. Like, I have to be in the mood to get through a horror movie, especially, I mean, a lot of horror movies tend to deal with, like, religion as if it's real. So there's a lot of demons and the devil, and, like, there's, at some point, you got to go to a priest or a nun. It's like, ugh. I'm so tired of, like, there's so many other cults in this world, in this universe that we live in, where to always be focused on the cult of Catholicism or Christianity is just, I'm over it. I'm over it. It is rarely done in an entertaining fashion, and it's just boring. So I thought of a movie that scared me and still scares. It doesn't scare me, but it's very disturbing. Requiem for a Dream. Obviously, you saw the title. You know what I'm talking about. From 2000, directed by Darren Aronofsky, coming off of his first kind of student. I don't know if it's student, but his independent film, Pi. He's never really done any. I mean, closest to a blockbuster he's done was Noah. Never saw Noah. I think the last movie of his I saw was The Wrestler, which is a great movie. I've tried to watch Mother a couple times, but it's one of those. It's like a lot of movies. If you start off really slow, I got to be in the mood to focus. And with the world that we live in, with so many distractions and screens and beeps and buzzes, it's hard for me to focus. So anyway, so I watched Mother, but Requiem for a Dream, revisited it. Just it's a great movie. Great performances by what's her name, Ellen Burstyn, Jared Leto, of course, Jennifer Connelly, and Marlon Wayans. Great performance from him as well. About drug addiction. Not even just drug addiction and the different forms in which drug addiction takes place. Of course, the title Requiem for a Dream is these characters have dreams, they have aspirations that they want to achieve, but if they do things that a lot of people do, they look for shortcuts. A lot of people want to accomplish things in the fastest amount of time, requiring the least amount of effort, which generally will end up taking you longer in the long run to accomplish your goals, because you end up making a lot of mistakes that you have to repair. Whether you're building something from scratch or doing a life of drug dealing, shortcuts are rarely the adequate way to pursue your dreams. But in this one, they're both pursuing dreams. Of course, the Ellen Burstyn's character wants to be on this show. She wants to lose weight so she can be fit into a specific dress. So in an effort to lose weight, she goes to a doc. I mean, she tries diet books. It's this. I mean, losing weight's not easy, and a lot of people want shortcuts. And instead of just eating right and exercising, people want to go to the doctor and get a pill and then have that take care of it. So she does, and she gets pills, and which are basically speed, and she ends up getting strung out on speed and having to go down that rabbit hole. Whereas the other half of this story follows, with Jared Leto and Jennifer Connelly and the bunch. They want to. I don't know. I mean, she wants to be a designer or whatever, and they just kind of want money. They just want to be not poor, but they also do a lot of drugs, And so they try and get into the dealing business. And, it's very much like Breaking Bad. They're starting to stack up money, but then things go awry and, shit hits the fan. They start using too much of their own supply. And it's kind of weird, first off, this movie, because it takes two drugs that are still very prevalent and cause a lot of problems in society, speed and heroin. Except for their flip now. Instead of the pill form being speed, now the pill form is heroin. Pharmaceutical companies are making billions of dollars getting people hooked on heroin in pill form. And then speed is primarily, there's like Provigil, and there's kind of like speed, similar speed pills that are out there. But speed itself, meth, is pretty much a street drug. So it's kind of flipped from this movie in 2000s. I mean, now pills are the big thing. I mean, pills get everybody hooked, and then if you don't have health insurance, then you kind of end up going to street drugs. Is usually, unless meth tends to get a lot of people. But it's just interesting watching this movie. I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched it, and just seeing how the drugs in this movie have kind of flipped as far as societally what they're doing to our culture. But also the movie, it's just, crazy performances by Ellen Burstyn specifically. I mean, her kind of de-evolution into insanity is just an amazing performance. And just the things that happen with, Jared Leto and Jennifer Connelly, and God, what's his name again? Marlon Wayans. It's just, it's a tragedy. This whole movie's a bummer, a tragedy, and but just so well done. The visual effects that are implied to during stressful times is amazing. The editing, just the way this movie, the story's told, and the way it's directed and edited is just, it's so unique. It's so unique. I mean, there's definitely movies that have done similar things, like using the split screen, and just getting super jittery during high tense moments. The hallucination moments for Ellen Burstyn's character are amazing. So it's like they're things that have been done, but they're all like very practical effects in a lot of ways. I mean, you can tell this director. I mean, even in his other movies, he is very grounded in reality. Even when he did The Fountain, which was supposed to be a big budget movie starring like Brad Pitt and somebody else, some famous actress of the time. But then kept losing budget and losing actors, and then just became this small independent sci-fi film. But Darren Aronofsky used a lot of practical effects for that film, because it's very heavy with visual effects, but they look amazing because they're all just practical effects, like things that you would see looking through a microscope. And it just, he's somebody that understands his art form and how to implement the tools to kind of flesh out the ideas and the ways in which he wants to tell a story. And it's one of the things about his movies that I really like. He tends to have a very slow kind of a tone to it. I mean, this one obviously has a slow tone, but I mean, you have the great music in this movie that is just intense. It's a classic. Like if you hear this music, it's just like, so I would say it's just as iconic as like the Star Wars themes. I mean, they're not as trendy, popular, so probably not as many people, but I would say the music itself is just as iconic as, the Darth Vader theme or the Jaws theme. And I don't know. I enjoyed rewatching this. It's very interesting coming at it. It's been easily a decade since I've watched it, and maybe even longer. But just a great movie to watch on Halloween. Um, g- w- I I would almost say if you really want to go all out this Halloween and enjoy this movie and experience this movie, take an edible. Take a high dose edible, higher than you're used to, and get stressed out and watch this movie. And maybe it'll change your life. Maybe you'll go clean or something. I don't know. But that's it. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope everybody has a great Halloween and, giving out the candy and all that stuff. Don't give out edibles to kids. That's just stupid. It costs way too much money. Just give them. The only drug kids should be given on Halloween is sugar. All right? But that's it for this episode. Go watch Requiem for a Dream. It's amazing. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.